Dibba-dib-dibba-doo. Dibba-dib-ba-da-doo. Rid-a-did-did-doo-doo. Hey, we in. Hello.
Yes, we are.
Welcome to the Chris and Kyle show.
Feeling nice and sweaty.
Already?
Yeah.
We just got started.
I know,
It's not
dude.
even super hot out today.
Well, I also
it's
just
only like kind of hot out.
I just got out of the shower, so.
True. Everyone knows that it's where you start sweating. Yep. The aforementioned sweaty boy is Chris. I'm Kyle. This is spoilers for It and It Chapter 2. Both films.
Yeah, the first one wasn't called It Chapter 1, right?
No, it's just called
when
It.
Released.
It. Something about just saying that word by itself weirds me out.
I've been trying to get you to like watch these movies for a long time.
Well, I mean,
The first
I
one.
watched It Chapter 2 opening weekend, so you
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm a huge fan. Yeah, you've been trying to get me to watch the first It like since it came out, but I just don't really care. I knew how I was going to feel about it, or I had a vague idea
Right.
of how I was going to feel about it, just
Were
because of
you-
my overall feeling towards horror films.
And okay, what's that feeling? Explain that
I
feeling.
don't really like them. I don't really like horror movies. I just when they're bad, I think they're stupid, and when they're good, I don't I don't like being scared of stuff. So I don't like the experience of watching even good horror movies. You know what I mean? Like I can watch a good horror movie and I can be like, "Wow, that was really well done," and there were, things I liked about it and things that I I can be like point to and say that was really well executed and really well done. Doesn't mean I liked it. Doesn't mean I enjoyed the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Like, so when it comes to movies like that, like, how much of it, like how much of you is like, man, like, I probably should have used this time to watch something else.
all the time. That's why I don't watch those kinds of movies, because I'm like, I could be watching something. Like I've been trying to fucking catch up with Succession for like 2 weeks.
Succession?
HBO show.
Oh,
Really fucking good.
I don't know what that is.
Really fucking good. Yeah. Finally caught up.
I mean,
last
I
night.
guess that's fair. You have what you have what you like.
Well, I mean, like I've been watching movies long enough to know
What you like.
what
The
I
kind
like
of-
and
the
what I
kind of
don't
movies
like.
that you
Exactly.
like.
Yeah. And it provides a little bit of something that I do like that made me sort of be like, you know what, fine. We'll do the episode on this. I'll watch them. I'll take the time to do it. But like when I sat down on Friday, I came home from work on Friday and I was like, fuck, I have to watch It tonight. Like if I want to
You weren't
watch,
excited
I
for
was like, if I want to watch football this weekend, I have to watch It tonight. And I just didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it. I was like, okay, I saw it.
Okay.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
they're good movies.
Right.
I
Okay.
just
So
don't love them.
let's discern between 1 and 2.
One's got the kids, two's got the adults.
Two's still got some kids.
With flashbacks to
Some
the kids.
1 doesn't really have.
Well,
any
I mean,
adults.
take a step back even further. It, the novel, written by Stephen King, is
Right.
one novel. It's not two novels.
Yep.
So the movie was broken, or the book was broken into two parts for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Part one, the first encounter with it, the creature, Pennywise the clown, when they were kids, and then the second movie takes place 27 years later when it returns. And there's some wackadoodle lore thrown in. There's like weird shit thrown in the second movie, and I was like, wait, what? They fucking forgot everything? And I knew the spider thing was coming, which
Right.
honestly, I thought that was really dumb. I was like, that's... He stopped being scary.
Once he was a spider.
The weirder Pennywise got, the less scary he was. The two scariest parts of both movies for me are the very first scene in the first movie when Georgie is talking into the sewer, and the scene with the little girl under the bleachers in the second movie. Those are the two scariest scenes in the movies to me. And it's because it's Pennywise being super manipulative and really, really evil and like convincing these innocent children that he isn't harmful when he's actually a space monster that wants to eat you.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so the second movie is definitely much more absurd.
Yeah,
than the first one.
it's whack.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of
There's
strange
a trial
stuff
of Chud where they have to be like do weird chanting to get rid of him. It's
there's
fucking
there's
wild.
There's a Native American.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's the word for it? Like
Ritual.
Yeah, ritual that they have to do in order to
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought there was a weird, and this has nothing to do with the movie. This would have to do, I guess, with Stephen King. But in the first movie, it was established that Ben, the fat kid, was like interested in history and the lore of this town and the weird stuff going on. And then in the second movie, he's not the one who's like the dude who discovers stuff. It's Mike. And I didn't get that. I was like, why is he the one who's the curious guy that learns stuff? That was a weird decision to me.
Yeah.
It didn't link well between the movies. I just found it kind of confusing.
Right. Yeah, because he was the one that was in the library.
I mean,
the
I
entire
like
time.
the subplot of Ben gets ripped, but is still really insecure. That's like a nice subplot.
Yeah. What were your favorite parts of the movie?
Bill Hader. Bill Hader, Bill Hader, Bill Hader, Bill Hader.
That is
absolutely steals the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know the guy's name. Hold on. The guy that plays Adult Eddie is also very good.
Okay, so Eddie,
James Ransone.
There's a lot of reasons why I like it. We'll go into like the more superficial reasons right now, like performances and actors and stuff, right? The kid who plays Eddie in the first one,
good. That kid's great. He's in Shazam.
Yeah,
people might know him from Shazam.
Yeah,
he's the crippled kid in Shazam.
Yeah, I haven't seen Shazam, but I was actually like, I wanted to watch Shazam just for this kid.
He's really fun in Shazam too.
I loved him.
I think the kids in general are really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like all
just
of them
across
are
the
talented.
board, the kids are very good. And the only kid I didn't think was good was Stanley. And it's kind of ironic now because after I watched the first one, I was like, they should have killed Stanley in this movie. And then at the beginning of the second movie, he fucking kills himself. And I was like, oh, that's dark.
Right. Yeah. Bill Hader is
he's
amazing
incredible,
in the
dude. He's so good.
He's amazing in the second
one.
Dude,
when he whips out the Jabba impersonation, that's the best scene in either movie, by the way. Them just reuniting at dinner.
Yeah.
I think that's the best scene in either movie. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
I mean, but like, think about my taste. Like, that's the most,
the most
the stuff about it that I'm gonna like.
Right.
The friendships and like the Stranger Thingsness of it. That's in the second movie. That's like the biggest part of that. It's just them reuniting, rediscovering their friendships with each other, remembering what happened to them, and Bill Hader being fucking hysterical.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't know. What it is, because like I'm very much like I like a lot of horror movies, especially ones like this that are like very meta in their use of fear, right? Like it is literally attacking each of them.
That's another
in a different way.
That's another thing that I thought about, because even though I mentioned them being the two scariest scenes to me, the Georgie scene and I forget the girl's name that was under the bleacher girl. There's a literal scene in the first It where he captures, what was her name? Beth, right? The girl.
In the first movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
In the sewer. When he takes her to the sewer and then she literally says to him, "I'm not afraid of you."
Right.
And then he can't eat her because she's not afraid of him.
Right.
Right? So he does the weird deadlights thing and fucking makes her float or whatever. I don't know how he works. He's a weird space monster. While I thought those two scenes with those kids were the scariest scenes, I also was kind of confused because he makes them feel comfortable and no longer scared, and then he eats them. So I was like, "What? That's backwards. Why can he eat them and not Beth or whatever the fuck her name is?" That weirded me out.
For me, I love those scenes because like it plays with the vulnerability aspect. Beverly. Yeah. I love shit that like. That isn't just about like trying to scare an audience.
Yeah.
I
agree with you completely.
Yeah. And I feel like does a really good job of like playing into like I'm going to make you vulnerable, and you're going to like but that's like the scariest thing, right?
Which
like,
I think is like
the things that
it's a huge part of what there are like subplots of both movies. It's all about separating the Losers Club and attacking each of their individual fears.
Yes, but like what I'm talking about here is like the vulnerability that like you have to express in like normal life. Like the reason that like it's fucking scary is because you might get hurt, right?
Yeah.
That's like with any fucking situation that you can be in, right? Yeah. Like if you're going to fucking go into a relationship, if you're going to be friends with someone, and like whatever the fuck. If you're going into a new situation, a new area of work, fucking, are they gonna like you or not, right? And I really enjoy like fucking completely metaphorical manifestations of that kind of thing, of that, of something who just like through complete awareness of what your vulnerabilities and fears are, right, completely manipulates you into your worst situation that you'll ever be in life. And that's like, I really like that bleacher scene for that. In the second one.
Yeah, because he makes her feel comfortable about her biggest insecurity, and then he eats her.
Yeah.
I'll blow it away. That's a good line. That's good. Bill Skarsgård's great, by the way. He's amazing. He's fantastic.
That's one thing that I kind of like was disappointed by with 2. Like, you don't see him until later on in the movie.
He doesn't get enough stuff.
In 1,
well, he gets the scene under the bleachers, and he gets the fucking great one where he's putting the makeup on.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fantastic.
good. That's good. But in 1, like, you start off with that sewer scene.
Yeah.
When he's like talking to Georgie and stuff.
When he is talking to Georgie, and then he just like deads out, and his eyes go in 2 different directions, and he stops talking. Like, it's like someone hit the pause button on a video on him. You know, Bill Skarsgård actually does that with his eyes.
Oh, really?
There's a meme going around of pictures of him and Bill Hader, and he's in full makeup, and Bill Hader's talking to him on set, and it's apparently like Bill Hader being like him telling Bill Hader that he actually does that, and they don't do it with CG, and then he does it for Bill Hader, and then Bill Hader like screams and runs away.
That's one reason. Well, like, I think I'd like 1 more.
I think 1's better.
Yeah, I agree. But the way that scene just lingers and like brings you into who Pennywise is.
Yeah.
I love that scene so much, and like it just instantly took me into like this place of like enjoyment. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, and I can relax now and fucking enjoy.
It was an interesting thing for me too, because a part of that scene was like setting expectations for like how much trouble are people in here. You know what I mean? Like, if Georgie gets away in the opening scene like that, I'm going to be less scared throughout the movie than if Georgie gets taken. And I didn't expect that, Georgie's fucking arm was going to get bit off, and then he's going to get dragged into the sewer.
Yeah. Very violent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, are there aspects of this movie that seem like, I mean, movies, like maybe I didn't recognize it with 1 as much because it seems more grounded in reality, but like there's like aspects of 2 that are like cartoony almost.
Yeah,
it's like sort of
it's
gimmicky.
Like weirdly supernatural.
Yeah.
Weirdly gimmicky. I've seen some people claim that it suffers from the quote unquote Marvel effect of undercutting serious moments with jokes. And I agree to it to an extent. I don't think that the Marvel effect is as bad as people make it out to be.
Okay.
But I can see where people would complain about that a little bit.
Right.
But I think part of it also made sense because the characters of Eddie and Richie, Bill Hader and the other dude's name who I just said and I forgot already, like that's part of their character is that they cope with fear and insecurity with jokes. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, learning about the backstory of Richie and him being gay is like it reveals so much about Finn Wolfhard's character in the first movie and Bill Hader.
Are they with that?
What do you mean?
Kind of like, because they kind of just like flirt with it, right? They kind of like dance.
Well, you
around.
don't know for sure. Like they hint at it, and at the end they kind of confirm it because he's just carving the R and E into the post because Eddie, and it's sweet. But like you can sort of you immediately understand Finn Wolfhard's performance in the first movie more. I think. Yeah. Learning that in the second movie. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But like, yeah. I agree. And you definitely go to that place, but I think that it probably wouldn't even. I don't think that you go to that place without Pennywise saying to Richie as Bill Hader, right? Or Bill Hader,
I know your secret.
Yeah, like I know your dirty little secret. Yeah. Fucking. Yeah, I don't think. I think without that, you don't really know that he even has a secret. Yeah. Yeah, but I really enjoyed that.
Hello, Mr. Motorcycle. Mm-hmm. You know my least favorite part of both movies?
What's that?
Do you want to try to guess?
The end of both movies?
No, they're kind of dumb. But
the romance?
No, I thought the romance was good. Bowers. I fucking hate Bowers, and I think it's stupid. Yeah. The whole subplot I think is horrible. Yeah. So I think it's awful. Like, really awful. I don't get the point of it. I don't know why. You could completely take it all out and the movies wouldn't change. Right. Why does Pennywise have a weird dude that he just manipulates into doing things that he could do way better? Right. What's the point of it? It's dumb. I think like it's almost like they were trying to say something about like living life in the fucking 80s or whatever and having emotionally maybe emotionally what's the word I'm looking for? Abusive father, maybe. Like, they kind of hint that his dad's an asshole, his dad who's a cop.
Yeah.
They hint at some stuff that, like, might be interesting, but at the end of the day, none of it matters. And it means literally nothing. Except you get the great reaction of Eddie getting stabbed in the cheek, which is funny.
I feel like he was more of just like sort of like this practical enemy for them. You know, like he's their Draco Malfoy, right? Like he's like, if Pennywise is Voldemort, you know,
yeah,
like
but I don't
this
think you
all-powerful
needed
being.
it.
I mean, I think agree to disagree there. Like I agree, it's not super strong, especially in the second movie. I think the second movie,
you talk about bad bullies in movies a lot, not like people who are bad and are bullies, but like bad writing of bullies. I think he's
cliche.
I think he's fucking awful. Like,
do you think that he's cliche?
I think he's like beyond cliche in a way that, like, he literally wants to murder people. He's more than a bully.
I think that
he's like it's a ridiculous take. It's such an over the top idea of someone.
But I think that's why it's not cliche. The fact that he's like straight up violent. He's a
technically,
psycho.
Yeah,
he's a psychopath, and you also get like as psychological basis as far as why it's happening. Like the problem that I have with
the emotional thing.
The problem that I have with bully cliches, right, is when you see, you know, a group of bullies, you never understand why they're doing it. You know, like what,
which is kind of how this movie starts. The first movie starts with them. They're just really mean bullies. And then it happens in the beginning of the second movie too. It's like the same exact thing. Super overly violent bullying. Like, it's like a weird running trope of the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like it. I thought it was really dumb.
It didn't bother me that much. I think the absurdity of the second one, like, it kind of like I had to like keep on reminding myself. I was like, wait, okay, what's going on here? There's fucking baby tarantulas that are fucking that they're trying to attack. That are coming out of fortune
with
cookies
Stanley's head. Oh yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah,
that was weird. All those weird creatures coming out of fortune cookies. Yeah, it went from being like a creature that showed up in taking different forms to scare you specifically,
right, to
being like an illusionist wizard or something. Yeah. He just started like making people see stuff. It was weird. Yeah. Like, and it's like this weird thing because like the moral of the story is something I actually really like. The idea of friendship and, you know, overcoming your fears and all that kind of stuff, I think is like a good through line of the movies. But it just like, I don't know, the end seemed really, I don't know if like clunky is the right word. Like, all it ended up being was like, let's just roast him. And he dies.
That's how we're going to defeat him. We're going to fucking roast him.
That's literally what they do. They just roast him.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of, it's like also, like it's like, so like, in a weird metaphorical way, is it like Stephen King saying the way to beat a bully is to bully them back? Is it like, it's like I don't think it is, but it's like weird. It's like a weird, and then like also like Pennywise is a fucking bitch. Like, he gets beat so easy. He has no fucking backbone.
I mean, okay, here's my issue with that, right? Like, and this is how I take it. This is how I see a majority of horror movies. Like, I don't think that like they're reflections of your external reality. It's your internal reality. It's like, it's this fucking shit that you make up in your own head, right? Like, when I was in the mental clinic, the one thing that like I noticed with everybody that I thought was the most psycho in there was that they were all telling themselves lies. They were all fucking telling people stories of things that weren't happening and making up conflicts that weren't existing.
Okay.
And like that forced me to, you know, fucking internalize that. I was like, okay, what are the bullies? What are the Pennywises of my own brain that I need to be fighting against, right? And to me, that's what the movie represents to me, and that's why I like it a lot. I mean, because because it's this visual manifestation and storytelling of an internal struggle.
And I completely, you're right. I agree with you, and I think that's a huge part of the movie. But I think things have to work both subtextually and textually, and I think textually it's kind of dumb.
That's fine
on the surface.
I'm more accepting of the text. I also like. I feel like I like fear more than you. I like being scared.
I don't
more.
typically like being scared of stuff. Like, it's not a good feeling being afraid.
I don't know, man. Is it a good feeling to be sad? What's the difference?
Without ever feeling sad, how will you know when you're happy?
If you're never like afraid, how would you know that you're secure? How would you know that you're
Well, I would
you're
argue
in
that
peace?
like you I don't know, I feel like pretty chill all the time.
What's the most afraid that you've ever been in your life?
In real life?
Yes, in real life.
I fell in a freezing river. That was really scary.
You fell in a freezing river?
I talked about this on the Q&A episode. Dude, my cousin saved my life. I was gonna get like hypothermia and shit.
Dude, my memory is like straight ass.
Yeah,
like,
I have
so bad.
I have a really bad memory too. So I'm trying like I like outside of that, like that's like the biggest like physical fear I think I've ever felt. I mean, I'm afraid whenever I meet new people. New people freak me out.
Yeah, I get anxiety a lot for sure. Regardless, so like, would you recommend it to people?
Yeah, I think most people will like it. I feel like I shit talked it a lot, but I enjoyed it. I didn't like finish watching both movies and go, well, that was a waste of. Now I'm being realistic here. 5.5 hours over both movies. They're fucking long.
They are.
The second movie's way too long. It's like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
it's super long.
Yeah, it's also fucking visually captivating.
Yeah, they're really well made.
Yeah, they're really well made, really cinematic. Like a lot of horror.
There's some really good like. You brought up the projector thing with Penny. Like, there's some really good ways they reveal fear.
Yeah, I like the
Andrew Muschietti.
You talked about how much you didn't like Bowers and shit. I like that scene when they show him in the fucking psych ward, and then they take him back to his room, and then there's the balloon underneath.
Yeah. He starts tugging.
That's
on
a
it.
really cool. That was a really cool reveal. I enjoyed that. But yeah, it's like it's kind of a big problem with horror movies, because it's just so very much like it's almost like the flagship genre for any kind of independent filmmaker, you know? Like the first movie that they'll usually make is some type of horror movie because it's the one that you can get the most like sort of visceral reaction out of people with the cheapest movie possible, right? So like a lot of like even like the most classic and best horror movies are just kind of really cheap and uncinematic. And that's why like I really enjoy like stuff like It. You know, stuff that's like really like there's a lot of fucking time, effort, and you know production.
And
design
there's I would think probably budget too. Like It has a budget.
Yeah, a huge budget.
Yeah.
I want to see Bill Hader in more shit.
Bill Hader's the best, dude. Watch Barry. Watch Barry. Watch Barry. Hey Chris, watch Barry.
Okay.
Dude. Yeah, Bill Hader's amazing. Dude, when he whipped out that job impression, it slayed me. I died. Like I missed the next like 10 seconds of the scene because I was laughing so hard.
You know that wasn't written in.
He just fucking did that shit, and it was a mom joke. Did you catch the subtle? The adult Eddie, his wife was the same actress that played his mom.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude. It's a great bit, hysterical bit, very funny.
Like I thought of the mom, like, and I was just like, oh, he
married
fat.
his mom. It's funny, yeah. No, it's literally the same actress. I think across the board, performances are really good from the kids. Like James McAvoy is always good in everything.
He has he's doing the voice from Split.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Split or
nope. I was gonna see them, and then Glass came out, and you talked about how bad it was. So I was like, well, I'm just not gonna watch them now.
I mean,
I don't really care.
If you enjoy James McAvoy, I would recommend Split.
James McAvoy's great.
But Glass is ass.
He's doing one of his character, like one of the personalities of that character.
Yeah, he's doing like his like strong like American character almost.
Yeah.
So it kind of like distracted me a little bit.
I did like the subtleties of the stutter. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, and the stutter didn't come back until he fucking
was afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he remembered.
Yeah.
What happened.
Well, yeah, until he went back to Derry.
Yeah. That was interesting. Do you think they should have put the weird sex thing in the movie?
The orgy?
Apparently it's not a straight up orgy. She like has sex with them each individually. Still weird. But, you know, whatever. That'd be a weird thing to put in a movie. Like, that'd be a wild thing to put in a movie.
I say fuck it.
A bunch of, like, 12 and
Throw it in
13-year-olds
there.
having sex in a movie would be
Throw it in
super
there.
weird. I haven't read the book, so I don't know the context of it exactly, but I know it's
Have
like
you ever read any Stephen King?
Nope.
I read On Writing. That's it.
Yeah.
I haven't actually read any of his books.
It's kind of ironic.
What?
To read a book about that he writes about being a good writer, but you've never read any of the stuff he's actually written. Yeah. It's kind of funny.
It's a good book, though.
Yeah. It's one of the most recommended writing books that you'll see. Yeah. Hey, I want to be a writer. Read On Writing by Stephen King. He'll tell you not to use adverbs and stuff. Do you want to have any final It thoughts? Besides that, you really like them a lot.
I cried. I'll say that.
I know you cried.
I cried.
I felt kind of like a dick because I was like,
how is he crying?
Well, no, I knew why you were, because I knew that you like had a connection to the movie that I didn't. But I like, it made me be like, am I an asshole because I don't fucking connect with it as much? You know what I mean?
No, it's just not your movie. Yeah, it's not your movie.
Like, I almost feel like there's too many characters. In a way.
Yeah.
Almost. Like, there's so many kids. And like, when I watched the first one, I was really surprised because you have the main friend group, which is 4 of them, right? I think it's 4 of them, I think. 3 or 4. And then they meet Ben. They save him from a bully. They meet, Beverly gets added in. And then like halfway through the movie, they meet Mike. And I was like, they barely know this dude. Like, why do they, like, by the end of the movie, and they're all like, oh, we're friends, and they're fucking giving each other AIDS by cutting their hands open and shit, which I thought was kind of funny because Eddie was, like, worried about AIDS earlier, and I was like, that's how you're going to get AIDS, dude. Fucking rubbing your open wounds against each other.
For sure.
But, yeah, I was like, they barely know this dude, and they're, like, all, I guess it's that when you experience trauma together thing, like, I got it, but I was also kind of like, I expected like even more friendship. You know what I mean?
One thing that really took me out of the second one was his fucking, so Bowers, when he gets broken out of prison or the psych ward, right? By his fucking zombie friend.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a funny bit. Reveal. That was a funny bit.
But but the zombie friend, I was just
he's
like,
his driver, which is pretty silly.
I forgot. Made me think of something, but I forgot what the movie was. Anyways, yeah, it was just like very bizarre. Very bizarre. A lot of bizarre stuff in the second one. But like I said, that moment in the lake after Eddie dies, right? And you have Bill Hader's character
trying to clean his glasses.
Richie trying to clean his, and he's just like, he's just fucking weeping.
Yeah.
That fucking got to me, dude.
It's because Bill Hader's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a solid movie. I don't love it. Chris does. But like, I was never gonna love it. So don't take my word too much.
I'll say this.
I'm gonna discredit myself a little bit.
I'll say this. I like Midsommar more. I'll say that. I think Midsommar is
it overall,
I would
or
say
It Chapter 2.
Probably both of them. Even both of them individually. Like I enjoy Chapter 1 more.
Midsummer's really fucking good.
I fucking love Midsommar.
It's really fucking good, dude. I
absolutely fucking love it. I've been listening to the soundtrack and shit like that. There's certain scenes of that movie.
Pew Pew Train, baby.
Like, that just fucking like that take me. That just fucking. Oh my god.
It's a hardcore movie. It's a hardcore movie.
But it is good as well.
Yep. All right. That's gonna be it on it. That was dumb.
I hope you weren't like waiting to say that.
No, it just happened because like that's gonna be it. Is like a normal thing to say, and then I realized that's the name of the fucking movie. Next week is we're doing the poll episode a week earlier than usual. This is news for you. You don't know the winner, do you?
No, I do not.
It's Inception. It was a tight race, but Inception pulled out in the end over Interstellar. So we're gonna do a Christopher Nolan dive in. Yo, that Tenet trailer got me pretty hype. Like, there's not a lot in it, but I was just like, he back, and John David Washington's in it. Fuck yeah.
John David Washington. I always want to say Keith David Washington, and I'm like,
Keith David?
Keith David Washington.
Son of Denzel, along with Robert Pattinson, and...
He's also the son of Robert Pattinson?
Yes. Yes. That is... Hold on. I got to get this cast right because it's like amazing. As every single Nolan movie gets a great cast. But Robert Pattinson, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Debicki, Kenneth Branagh, Michael Caine, of course. John David Washington. Himish Patel, who was just in yesterday. Really good cast. Super exciting for Tenet. But yeah, we're going to talk about Inception next week. I'm excited because I haven't rewatched it in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
And I've wanted to go back and rewatch both of those movies, but I'm excited to dive in and go back. Like, I forget Tom Hardy's whole character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I forget Tom Hardy's in that movie sometimes.
Right.
But he is. And he's like a weird disguise boy.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Check us out on the social medias. ChrisMichaelStott.com. You can read his scripts. Chris Michael Stott on Instagram. I'm Davinwell25 on Twitter and Instagram. The show, The Chris and Kyle Show, or at tcaks pod on Twitter. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the podcasting platforms. We'll put a new poll up at the beginning of next month. Don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll figure it out. Come back next week for Inception. We out.
We out. Stay weird.